Part 86. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 852. But when Jiming didn't dare to say anything, didn't dare to ask anything, he could only quietly keep this matter in his heart. Jinli sighed. She has completely entered the state of salted fish after the end of long-term overtime. Although Sister Qing beeped countless times in front of her, you are just so popular now that you can take advantage of the Dongfeng of Backbone to receive another excellent and big production to stabilize your position endorsement, or the ratings of your reality show are very good, and a director has already contacted me and so on. Jinli just said, I'm tired, I need to rest, don't pick up. Sister Qing. Jinli also sincerely suggested to Sister Qing, you should put more thought into the other artists. I won't be able to go on this road for long. In addition to Jinli, Sister Qing also brought a few other artists. Jinli had seen those people before. They were young, energetic, and looked good. Sister Qing has good eyesight, and they will not be too bad in the future. At this moment, hearing Jinli's words, Sister Qing's heart skipped a beat, and she looked at Jinli warily. What do you mean by that? What do you mean you won't be able to walk on this road for too long? For a while, Sister Qing's mind was spinning, and all kinds of possibilities came to mind. What he thought about the most was whether Jinli planned to marry Mr. Lu, quit the entertainment industry and become a full-time wife with peace of mind. Thinking of this, Sister Qing felt a sense of crisis. Part of it was for myself, but more of it was a crisis for Jinli. You can't have any stupid thoughts, Jinli. She glared at Jinli. Are you planning to be with Mr. Lu and then quit? Let me tell you, don't think so. She dissuaded her earnestly. Now you are in the top of the entertainment industry, everything is going well, even documentary films like Spine have chosen you as the protagonist, and the higher authorities will praise you clearly. This is your own career, Jin Pair. Jinli, no, you may have misunderstood something. Whether it's a misunderstanding or not, I've wanted to tell you these words for a long time, Sister Qing said seriously. Jinli looked at her. Sister Qing looked at her stunning face and sighed, I know, Mr. Lu likes you very much. You two may live happily ever after you get married. Even if you are a full-time wife, you will be very happy. You can go traveling every day, go shopping, do whatever you want. However, Jinli, Sister Qing still wants to say something to you from the bottom of her heart. You have to have your own business, and it doesn't have to be a part of it. Star. This is a guarantee you give to your own life, and it is also the reliance that you will be able to hold your head up high and not be afraid of everything in the face of all situations in the future. A woman's charm can come from her beautiful and stunning appearance, or she can rely on her independent and free soul. These words are indeed heart-pounding. Jinli was a little moved, but also a little dumbfounded. She sat a little closer to Sister Qing, and held her hand with a smile. I understand this truth, just like Sister Qing, you have always been beautiful. Sister Qing. She gave Jinli a white look. Speak seriously, don't be glib. Jinli stuck out her tongue. Okay. Actually, I also want to tell you that I can live whatever I want. All of this will definitely not depend on others. Sister Qing, you are too worried. 4 more. I think, before dinner, I can get all of today's 6th watch out. Exposing the fact that I didn't save the manuscript. Ha ha ha. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 853. Sister Qing looked at her suspiciously. But she also knew that despite Jinli's easy-talking appearance, it was mostly because she didn't care at all. In fact, she had a very correct idea. Once she had made up her mind, she would not give anyone a chance to convince her. She just sighed. In short, you made your own decision, and it's good that you don't regret it. But she was still a little surprised. Why do you say that you won't be on this road for long? Have you set a wedding date? Jinli, no, can you stop thinking about getting married? Sister Ching was even more puzzled. If you don't get married, your career will be good. If you can see it with the naked eye, it will definitely become popular. I can't think of the reason why you want to quit the circle. Jinli, it's not that I'm retiring from the circle, it's not that fast. She said, let me be clear, Sister Cheng. I don't like acting, I'm sure, so Mr. Yuan is my last role, and you don't want to take on any more roles for me in the future. Sister Ching, don't like it? Her tone was raised. Do you know how good your resources are now? Ever since you confirmed to play the role of Mr. Yuan in Backbone Fengwalu, the scripts handed to me have been improved by more than 2 grades than before. And after the trailer came out, it became even more serious. All the famous directors began to throw olive branches. Jinli, I can be sure that when the documentary film is officially broadcast, you can choose the script at will in the future, and it will not be a problem to win the award. You just say that you don't like it, and it's over. Jinli looked at Sister Ching, who was very angry, and was a little puzzled. Yes, I don't like it, isn't it enough? She repeated, I don't like it, no matter how good I am, I don't like it. If I don't like it, I won't act. What's the problem? Sister Ching. She was suddenly discouraged. Because she suddenly realized that what she said just now was only from the perspective of an ordinary person. An ordinary person, she has struggled for so long and is finally about to climb to the top of the mountain. From then on, her life and career will make a qualitative leap. She would never be willing to give up at a critical moment. But Jinli was no ordinary person. Although her past experience seemed pitiful, Sister Ching had been with her for so long, and the more she got to know, the more she realized that she couldn't understand Jinli. She was definitely not as simple as she showed. She is not short of money, not chasing fame and fortune, and now there are enough people who like her. The point is, based on Sister Ching's observations, this mysterious girl is nothing to her, something that others may not be able to obtain with a lifetime of hard work. After the actress, she became popular all over the country. For Jinli, this was really not a goal in life. When you were born on a higher mountain, it is really nothing to give up climbing a low mountain. Yeah, you have the capital, if you don't like it, you don't have to act. Sister Ching said it again, and sighed a long time. Okay, as long as you like it, she said. However, are you just not acting anymore, or are you just quitting the show? She and Jinli confirmed it. Jinli thought for a while, there's no need to quit the circle yet. I'll quit the circle when I get home. Go home? Go back to the Su family. The Su family doesn't seem to restrict family members from entering the entertainment industry. Sister Ching knew Jinli's real background. Jinli was stunned for a moment, realized what she was talking about, and then smiled and said, no, it's not the Su family, it's my real home. Now I changed to Miss Ching in a daze, the real home. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 854. Jinli winked at her. Do you remember the father I told you about? Of course Miss Jing remembered. That Jinli's father, who lived in Jinli's words, was extremely mysterious and powerful. Jinli said, I might be going home sometime. When I get home, I'm sure I won't be a star here any longer. Sister Ching didn't quite understand this logic, but since Jinli said so, she might as well listen for now. Then, she said, if you decide when to go back, remember to tell me in advance. Jinli smiled and said, I will. Sister Ching looked at her again. Jinli understood what she meant, and said quickly, I want to rest, I won't take work during this time. Sister Ching, okay, then you have a good rest. When you want to work, contact me. Jinli nodded vigorously. After sending off Miss Ching, Jinli took out her Weibo. Since she officially started filming Mr. Yuan in the film, she hardly played on Weibo, let alone posted news. Fans look forward to seeing through the autumn water, screaming under Weibo every day. You have changed, you are no longer the little fairy who gives us benefits every day. You pickled pepper chicken feet, you have the ability to take on the show, you have the ability to post a trailer, you have the ability to make more dynamics. Today is also a day when I didn't see the little fairy, I miss her and miss her. Oops, it's been a long time since I posted a selfie, I still miss it a bit. Jinli took several photos of herself and posted them on Weibo. Jinli is a brocade carp v, long time no see, miss me? Picture picture picture. Instantly build tall buildings. Think about it. The little fairy is still so pretty. Long time no see fairy Jinli. You finally made a move, she still has such a beautiful fairy face. Will Jinli act in a TV series recently, or pick up a variety show? I love watching your reality show. Jinli scanned the comments, picked one and answered. Jinli is a Jin Carp V, I won't be taking on work recently, I need to take a good rest for a while, salty fish paralyzed.jpg. Laughing and crying, laughing and crying, laughing and crying. The #1 lazy star in the entertainment industry lives up to its reputation. After whatever you do, you have to take a good rest for a while. Look next door, there are 3 dramas a year, you just can't learn about it, be a little aggressive, mom is really worried about you. Heh, not many works have been released, but the ostentation is not small. Make a movie and rest for a month, and see if you can. Although the fans also complained that their little fairy was too lazy, but their own little fairy could complain about it herself, but it was absolutely impossible for others to mock her. The one whose ID is holding a handful of beautiful women and tears, are you a fool? My Jinli's own life, she can arrange it however she wants, it's none of your business. That one shed tears, do you never take a break at work, what is sour? SHH, let me tell you in a low voice, our little fairy is very smart, if you scold her, be careful. Ha 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 ha, yes, call the little fairy, be careful. Jinli had eaten and received a call. It was Yu Manluo who called. Occasionally chat between the two, although not so enthusiastic, but there is a sense of comfort as light as water. I'm getting married at the end of next month, do you want to come? Jinli was surprised, but when he thought about the way Yu Manluo and Fan Sheng got along, he took it for granted. She nodded, what day next month? I can go. 6 more. Set a flag, update at 6 a.m. If I don't do it, just pretend I didn't say it. See you in the morning. I need a monthly pass to recharge. Recommended tickets are also generous. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 855. Yu Manluo told Jinli days, and congratulated her. By the way, I watched the trailer of Fengguolu, it's beautiful and powerful. Jinli smiled and accepted the compliment, it's okay, it's okay. She reckoned that Yu Manluo would not forget Su Hexiang. In fact, it was true that when Jinli went to Su's house for dinner, Su Hexiang mentioned it to her. Jinli nodded, I agree. Su Hexiang thought for a while, I should be able to find time to go. Su Hexiang is still different from Manluo. In the final analysis, Su Hexiang was the only beneficiary of the bloody entanglement between her, Jinli, and Yu Manluo. She had heard about the matter of the Yu family, and she couldn't help but feel guilty towards Manluo. She once offered compensation, but the other party didn't ask for it. No, I'm fine now. You don't owe me anything. If you want to, just come and drink me a glass of wedding wine. Suhexiang agreed. After dinner, Jinli stayed at the Su's house and slept in the small building with Suhexiang. Susu, you told me before, the person you like, how are you two doing now? Jinli asked curiously. Counting the time, it has been more than half a year since Suhexiang first told her about it. This topic is obviously not a good topic for Suhexiang. She sighed, and said with a smile, it's not much, the progress is, I understand him better. The progress of the strategy is still zero. Lu Qingyuan is really a rational, gentle, and cruel person. His gentleness made him unable to say harsh words to a lady no matter what. But he insisted damnably on principles and was ruthless in this kind of matter. He never procrastinated, and told Suhexiang not to waste time on himself time and time again. Jinli stopped talking. In fact, she only needs to spend a little spiritual thought to know who Suhexiang likes and what their current situation is. It's just that she didn't want to use this technique on Suhexiang. This is Xiaoxianyu's respect for the privacy of friends. If Suhexiang is willing to say it, she will naturally tell herself. But she still said something to Suhexiang. I think, if you like it, you can go after it. Susu, but you have to set a limit for yourself. What if he never responds to you? There is no grass in the end of the world. Maybe you look at others, just you will find that there are many good men. Jinli comforted Suhexiang not so skillfully. However, although she is not good at this kind of emotional counseling, what she said is what she really feels from her heart. Susu is not like herself, nor is she like Lu Zhenjia. The lifespan of their mortals is less than 100 years, and the best age is just a few years. It would be a shame to bet it all on a man who won't look back. Suhexiang laughed out loud, you don't have to worry about me. She glanced sideways at Jinli, I'm much more rational and mature than you. Don't worry, no matter how much I like someone, I won't lose myself for him, and I won't give up my bottom line and principles for him. I still focus on my career, It's just that after work, all my energy is used to think about that man. She remembered Lu Qingyuan's gentle but distant eyes, and sighed softly, 3 years. Jinli, huh? Suhexiang, 3 years, give myself 3 years, and a stone can be heated up. If there is still no result in 3 years, or if he finds true love within 3 years, I will give up. The Koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 856. Jinli took a serious look at Suhexiang several times. Seeing her clear and calm expression, she knew that the girl had her own ideas in her heart. In this case, she didn't worry about the other party anymore. But she suddenly stretched out her index finger and touched Suhexiang's forehead. Suhexiang was taken aback for a moment, although she didn't understand what she was doing, she obediently let her move without avoiding it. Jinli quickly withdrew her hand and said with a smile, I just took a look at it, Susu. Although your hit red line is difficult and complicated in the early stage, it will be very smooth and happy later on. Don't worry. It's just that she can't tell from this whether the complicated one now and the one who will make Suhexiang happy in the future are the same person. When Suhexiang heard Jinli's words, she only thought she was talking nonsense to comfort herself. She smiled and said, I would like to borrow your good words. Jinli could see that she didn't take it seriously and didn't care. Anyway, she has long been used to the damn materialistic attachment of the people of Huaguo. By the way, don't just talk about me. You just finished playing Mr. Yuan, and the trailer got rave reviews when it came out. My parents have watched it many times at home and have been praising you, Suhexiang said. She looked sideways at Jinli and said bluntly, to be honest, I didn't expect you to be able to perform this effect. Did you take any crash course in acting this year? Jinli. She rolled her beautiful eyes and emphasized, there is no crash course in acting, this is my strength. Do you understand? Suhexiang shook her head. It's not that I belittle you, it's not that I don't know your strength. She covered her mouth and smiled. It's much better than before, but it's still at a level that can stand up to TV dramas. When it comes to the big screen, it's still a lot worse, let alone a production like Feng Hualu. Jinli was not convinced. Then I can't make progress. She emphasized, all in all, this is strength. Her face was reddened by Suhexiang. Seeing her like this, Suhexiang couldn't bear it anymore, and quickly pinched Jinli's face, moving away before the other party waved to block her. I still don't forget to sigh, it's so slippery. Jinli. You have become Susu. You were not like this before. You're almost like a pig's trotter now. Suhexiang smiled and said, okay, I believe that's your strength, so Jinli, what are your plans for the future? She propped her head on one hand, turned sideways to look at her. I think now is your good opportunity, and no one else has a better opportunity than you. You can take advantage of the present and take a movie with a little more depth. Win an award. If you can win a Best Actress, no one will be able to blackmail you in this regard in the future. Jinli blinked. Why do you all say that? Suhexiang, why, does anyone else say that? Jinli, my manager. Suhexiang understood, she is right, because this is the most suitable for you now. Although you have the talent to be a variety show star, after all, your works can prove your strength and are more convincing. That's a good thing to say. Jinli spread her hands, but I don't like acting at all. Suhexiang. Jinli was not a random person. Suhexiang looked at Jinli suspiciously, you don't mean? Jinli nodded, very calmly, I won't act in the future. Two more. Sure enough, I can only pretend that I didn't say it. Good night, ha 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 ha. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 857. Suhexiang. Jinli felt that the girl's reaction was not much worse than that of Sister Cheng. Suhexiang confirmed with her twice, you're not acting anymore. You said you stopped acting. Jinli nodded. Suhexiang had a look of disbelief and regret, it's really a pity that you are like this. You have been hacked for so long, and it's been hard, and finally come to this point. You can pick the fruits of victory by raising your hand and fight a beautiful battle. If you turn around, you won't act anymore. Jinli asked back, do I care about these things? Humans live for hundreds of years, and the time to like her and hate her may not even be as short as 10 years. 100 years later, ashes return to ashes, and all those who praised her and slandered her turned into a pile of loess, but she was eternal. Is she worthy to take the words of a group of mortals so important? Not to mention. Jinli was full of confidence, one Mr. Yuan is enough to destroy those slanders. Say she has no acting skills, say that she has no soul in acting, and talk about her so and so. When Feng Hualu is released, the facts speak louder than words. I'm confident that this role will amaze the world, unless Mr. Yuan's charm is fake. Jinli blinked and said jokingly. And, it would be nice to call the curtain call at the most glorious time, Jinli said. Suhexiang. She looked at Jinli for a long time, and finally said helplessly, you are always unpredictable, capricious, and arbitrary in your actions. But there are a lot of crooked truths, and I can't justify you. Jinli's eyes widened, what is crooked reasoning? What I said is very reasonable. Suhexiang stopped arguing with her, and instead said, is your manager mad at you? Jinli thought about Sister Qing's reaction, and said against her fairy conscience, no, Sister Qing used to take care of Bai Jinli and survived. Now that I'm so calm and obedient, How can she be angry? Suhexiang. She still wanted to ask something. Jinli knew what she wanted to say. As soon as her thoughts turned, she quickly shook her head, and refused to cooperate. Don't talk about work problems anymore. I have been filming for so long, and I can finally rest. You still have to talk to me about this, so tired and annoying. Suhexiang, okay, then you will go to Yumanluo's wedding next month, and there is still such a long time. What are you going to do? Jinli thought for a while, then asked suspiciously, what's the plan? Suhexiang, 1 month, you have to find something to do, right? Jinli was puzzled. It's only a month, and it's over after eating, drinking, and sleeping. What else do you need to do? Suhexiang. Workaholics don't quite understand the life of such a salty fish. The topic ends here. At some point, the whispered chatter in the small building ended. The wind blew the bamboo curtains to shake slightly, and the hazy moonlight ran in, fell on the two people who were sleeping side by side on the bed, and gently kissed their cheeks. Jinli was dreaming again. This time she dreamed of a man. He was wearing a black robe, which was as black as ink. The ink color was not like ordinary black fabrics, but instead seemed to be formed by the gathering of endless darkness. But this darkness is not scary, on the contrary, it is very quiet and peaceful, which makes her feel at ease. In the dream, she seemed very small. The man bent down, touched his head gently, and said something to her. Jinli couldn't see his face clearly, but he could hear his gentle words clearly. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 858. Jinli became happy all of a sudden. Papa Tiandeo. She recognized this voice. It was her heavenly father. But, Jinli hesitated again. It's not that she has never seen the real body of Tiandeo's father. He always wears a purple robe, and every silk thread on the robe is engraved with complicated patterns that make you dizzy at a glance. That's Daoan. There are 3,000 great paths and thousands of small paths in Tiandeo Palm, and any one of them can change ever-changingly, and there is no unified shape. Forget it, let's get over this topic that makes the brains of scumbags so painful. Jinli looked at the man in surprise. This was the first time she saw Father Tiandeo like this. The appearance seems to be unclear, and the voice is still the same, but it seems that it is much gentler. Jinli stuck out her tongue. Although Tiandeo's father doted on him very much, he was quite indifferent and severe most of the time. Just look at the constant thunderclaps in the 3,000 worlds. The laws of heaven are just and severe, and they have never been lenient in punishing those gods who made mistakes. Jinli was still thinking in doubt here, but the little Jing carp in the dream had already shouted happily, "Hold! Hug!" Then the man bent down and really hugged her up. His eyes were drawn closer, and Jinli saw his face. Dark eyes, jade-like gentle face. Her Tiandeo father is undoubtedly very good-looking, not only good-looking, but also different from other gods. Most of the gods are arrogant, they are not the same as themselves, and they never bother to take a second look. But Jinli saw tolerance and kindness from the man's eyes, whether he was looking at himself or at the vegetation on the ground. Jinli didn't understand again. This person is clearly her heavenly father. But he is obviously not her heavenly father. There is nothing in Tiandeo's father's eyes. Everything in the world is like stones and plants in his eyes, and everything in the world is out of his sight. God, God, can I sit on the moon and play tonight? Jinli heard herself acting softly in the arms of the man in black. Her finger pointed to the bright moon in the sky. God. Jinli was at a loss again. Why did she call Tiandeo's father, Godson? Sit on the moon, you have to ask Sister Wangshu about this. If she agrees, you can go and play, the man said. Goddess Wangshu is the goddess of the moon. She has always been lonely and cold. She lives in the temple of the moon god for a month and does not go out easily. Jinli didn't remember any friendship with her. No, there were still. Jinli remembered that every year on his birthday, he would receive a gift from the moon god temple. Jinli thought, when is this again? Could it be that this is also what Lu Zhenjie said, the memory he forgot? She continued to watch. The man in black hugged him and walked forward. On the way, he met a little rabbit demon with rabbit ears and a fluffy tail. The rabbit demon was bouncing around, holding a large handful of glowing flowers in his hand, and handed it to Tiandao's father shyly and solemnly, "My lord, this is the aurora grass that I have picked for a long time. I give it to you. Thank you for your kindness, our refuge." Aurora grass was not a rare thing for Jinli, but for these rabbit monsters, it might be a very precious treasure they could get. Jinli saw Papa Tiandao bent down to take the bunch of grass. "Thank you, little rabbit, I like it very much." The rabbit demon grinned, showing 2 cute front teeth, and left happily. 4 more. See you in the afternoon. I didn't cheat votes in the early morning, so you won't vote. Sure enough, all of them are big pig's hooves. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 859. Jinli looked at the scene in surprise. The lowly demon spirits have always respected the gods. In other words, awe. In her memory, they all bowed their heads and saluted when they saw her, with a respectful posture, but they rarely showed such a close look. There were more than just gifts from this little rabbit along the way. By the time the man in black carried Jinli to the top of the mountain, he had already received many gifts. That is, at the moment when the two reached the top of the mountain, a piece of moonlight fell in the distant sky. It was goddess Wangshu driving her carriage passing by. My lord, the woman in white was very different from Jinli's memory. She doesn't look as indifferent as she thinks she is. Looking at Tiandao's father, she looks more like a young girl in Huaichun. Yes, anyone who sees Wangshu like this will know that she must like the black-clothed god in front of her very much. If it was Jinli now, she would definitely find an excuse to slip away with a wink. But at this moment, what the black-clothed god is holding in his arms is still a chubby little koi. Seeing Wangshu, the little koi would happily ask, "Sister Wangshu, can I play on the moon?" Wangshu just looked at her, smiled helplessly and dotingly, "Yes." Jinli woke up from her dream. The sky is already bright, and the tip of the nose can faintly smell the fragrance of flowers, which are flowers blooming in the small building. Su Hexiang just opened the door curtain and came in. Seeing her sitting up, she said, "I was going to wake you up, but you just woke up." Jinli was still immersed in her dream, staring at her in a daze and not speaking. "Su Hexiang, haven't woken up yet? Go wash up and get ready for breakfast." Jinli blinked slowly, and it was at this moment that all her perception seemed to finally return to her. Oh! She got up slowly, washed up, and finished her meal absent-mindedly, then told the Su family and left. She had to go find Lu Zhenjie. If it was said that the things she had dreamed about in the past, the relationship between herself and Lu Zhenjie just made her feel strange. But the dream last night completely overturned her cognition. She thought she looked like she had lost more than a little memory. Why, in the dream, whether it is Father Tiandao or Goddess Wangshu, are they different from what I know? She drove directly to Lu's. President Lu spent a long time filming with his girlfriend, and when Jinli finally finished filming, he was called to the company by his subordinates who worked overtime until he was almost blackened, and began to experience the joy of working overtime together. Everyone in the Lu family knew who Jinli was, and Lu Zhenjie also said hello. When they saw Jinli, they brought her to meet him, so Jinli was taken directly outside Lu Zhenjie's office. She opened the door and went in. At a glance, there were many identical Lu Zhenjias. They sat at their desks, on the sofa, and the poorest ones didn't even have a place to sit, leaning against the wall with their documents in their arms and reading. Jinli silently looked at the real body of her boyfriend. Boss BA didn't change his face. There are too many accumulated tasks, and I can't finish them alone. So openly use clones to cheat. Jinli snorted lightly. The Lu family didn't go bankrupt because you are the one who manages Pixiu. Lu Zhenjia coughed lightly, and changed the subject. Why did you come here? The last time I clearly disliked the company for being boring. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 860. Speaking of serious things, Jinli didn't care about such trivial matters. She asked Lu Zhenjia to take back the avatar, and said, I dreamed again last night. Hearing her words, Lu Zhenjia's expression also straightened up. Jinli was dreaming more and more frequently now. This also shows that her divine power is rapidly recovering, and she is recovering those forgotten memories of those years little by little. What did you dream about? Jinli looked confused. I dreamed about Father Tiandeo. Lu Zhenjia's expression changed. Jinli continued, I dreamed that he was wearing black and hugging me. He was very gentle and was very kind to lowly monsters and spirits. Those people called him God's son. I also saw Goddess Wangshu. She seems to like my heavenly father. She looked at Lu Zhenjia. They're all different from now, aren't they? Lu Zhenjia, it's not just the memory between the two of us that I forgot. What did I forget? What Lu Zhenjia wanted to say, Jinli thought of something, and said, wait a minute, tell me first, is the dream I had real or fake? Even though he said that, Jinli knew very well that it couldn't be fake. Letting others not mention it, as Tiandeo's father, she is absolutely impossible to be easily dreamed of. Especially with such a completely different way of heaven. She asked, but just wanted to make a final confirmation. Sure enough, Lu Zhenjia nodded, it's true. Jinli asked, what happened? Lu Zhenjia sighed. I can't tell you what happened. You can only remember it yourself. However, I can tell you about the black-clothed god in your dream. Jinli asked, is he my heavenly father? Lu Zhenjia hesitated for a moment, forgot to glance at the sky, and nodded slightly as if he had received some reminder. Jinli murmured, so, Father Tiandeo, wasn't he heavenly Deo from the beginning? She looked at Lu Zhenjia. Lu Zhenjia nodded, that's true. God respected him before. When talking about this black-clothed god, even Pixiu, who has always been rebellious, couldn't help showing a hint of admiration. God Venerable is one of the firstborn gods at the beginning of chaos. Chaos first opened, heaven and earth, sun, moon, and stars, mountains and rivers appeared one by one, and similarly, gods in charge of various laws were also born. The god Susu, born with the night and darkness, is one of the most powerful gods in this world. As long as there is night and darkness, everything will turn into his divine power, and no god is his opponent. At that time, the ancient gods and demons were born, and the plunder and aggression in the bones of the ancient gods and demons caused this world to be in battle all the time. However, this Hei god Venerable who controls powerful power has a strange temperament, commented by other gods. He has a gentle personality and likes to be quiet. He lives alone in the remote Mount Suyu and does not participate in these competitions at all. I don't know how many chaotic eras have passed like this. Those ancient gods and demons who won became the masters of all parties in the chaotic world, and those who lost were either reincarnated or wiped out. Order was gradually established. Some weak creatures began to be born. Most of the newly born gods are weak to the ancient gods. Not to mention those transformed spirits and monsters, they exist like ants in this continent. Those ancient gods regarded them as ants, and it often happened that some kind of monsters were killed because of their delicious taste. 6 more. Today, a cute boss came to the book review section to urge an update, which made me tremble, but this author is a moral author, she will never bow to the power of money, she will add an update tonight. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 861. This kind of situation is nothing in the eyes of the gods. After all, in their eyes, only gods who are as powerful as themselves can be regarded as creatures in this chaotic world. It's no different. How can you expect them to care how a rock feels? Yeshengsu is different. During the day he might not notice it. But as long as it is dark, his perception can spread to every corner of the world, and he always hears the cries of various weak creatures in the middle of the night. The night of the chaotic world is a more dangerous place than the day, and many nocturnal beasts will come out to look for food. For other gods, they would not care about such things at all. But Yeshengsu, he is an extremely rare ancient god with a compassionate heart. He protected those weak creatures, and made an oracle: when the night comes, all conquests and killings must stop. Until the next round of golden crow rises. He lived in seclusion all year round, and many gods didn't even know his name, so they scoffed at him, and naturally they would not obey his oracle. But soon, the creatures in the chaotic world will find that all those who dared to defy the oracle of the night god and hunt and kill prey in the dark night, regardless of gods or beasts, never appeared after dawn. The night is like a huge bloody mouth, swallowing everything that does not obey it. There are powerful ancient gods who challenged the night gods, but they also failed. Since then, no one dared to touch his brow. The oracle of the night god is also recognized by this world and protected by laws. He didn't have a good reputation among the ancient gods, but in the eyes of other gods, he was a benefactor who saved the world, regardless of the gods and monsters. Lu Zhenjie said, since then, under the protection of the gods, the dark night has become the safest place in the chaotic world. He thought of something, and smiled. In fact, I have also been favored by the gods many times. When I was young, I was chased and killed by other fierce beasts. Many times I stayed up until the night fell, and finally got a moment of rest. Jinli listened to Lu Zhenjie's narration with bright eyes. My heavenly father is so good. Although Lu Zhenjie was occasionally annoyed by the current Tiandao, for example, he felt that he had kidnapped his precious daughter, he still respected him from the bottom of his heart. He nodded, yes, he is very powerful. Jinli frowned again, but why did Yeshen become Tiandao's father? Besides, his current appearance is not what you described. Lu Zhenjie sighed, the Dao of heaven needs to get rid of emotions and desires, he must be the most just and selfless existence in the world. How can God be so ruthless as he was before? Naturally, it is necessary to extract all desires and see everything with the eyes of Tao. He did not answer Jinli's last question. Jinli's mouth moved, and he understood Lu Zhenjie's subtext. This probably can't be said that he can only think of it by himself. She took a deep breath and said slowly, I really want to remember all this quickly. Thinking of why she had forgotten so many things, why Tiandao's father became Tiandao's father, and why those gods were not the same as those in the dream. Lu Zhenjie, soon. Since you came into this world. Since you met me. Start dreaming with you. It is the beginning of everything uncovered. The 7th update, this chapter is an update for the boss. I feel cute. I'm really a moral author, I was scared today, and I really won't be more annoying in the future. Thanks to all the big babies who voted for Gao Lengzi, number 3 Jinli will be exempted, and number 4 will explode with 60 chapters.